Welcome back to Saga 3 Kings. This is session 13, titled Multiple Paths. At the end of last session, the group was...
Anybody hear me?
I can now.
Can now.
Okay, it looked like John was talking, but I didn't hear anything.
Oh,
John, have you been talking?
oh, yeah, I was. That's real strange. Okay, well, session 13, entitled Multiple Paths. Last session, they returned back to the town of Mortis and are doing some shopping and such. And we're just going to pick up where we left off with, I think, a couple of the people were heading to the brewers. If you were one of those people, just let me know.
When I found out they didn't do any healing potions or anything like that, I was like, all right, cool, I'm out. Never mind.
That was
I'll go with him.
it was never deciphered whether or not they do healing potions at the brewers or not.
No, it was the general store. Didn't have any.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Fran. I thought that was the brewer. Never.
Fran runs a general store.
I'll go with you, Benson, because I want to see if we can offload this dirty honey as well.
So the Brewers is a strange-looking building on the south eastern side of town. I say strange-looking building because it looks like it was kind of built by hand in a very kind of rugged manner. But unlike most of the buildings in the town, it's not built from wood, brick, and mortar and thatch and the like. It's built completely from very massive stone blocks that have been set up in kind of a ziggurat-like pattern. It has a bunch of dwarvish runes carved out at the door of this pyramidal igloo. However, I mean, it just looks very rugged, and it looks like someone just stacked a bunch of blocks together to make a home. But as you approach, you'd be able to see that inside it's pretty well lit. And there are a number of metal, massive liquid containers attached to all sorts of different pipes and hoses. And it looks like there's a desk where a dwarf sits. Currently, it looks like he is pounding a mortar and pestle together, probably grinding and mortaring a something.
How long have they been around town?
It's been around for a while.
Have they ever come into my shop or anything, or asked any questions, or wanted anything read or anything?
Well, if you have in your notes a character named Alrind Flatjaw, then you would know about them. If not, then you wouldn't know much about them. They would be kind of kept to themselves. You've definitely heard of Flatjaw because all of the beer in the tavern is made by him. So you know about him superficially is what I mean.
But no real connection to him. There's no real friendship there at all.
Unless I specifically put him in your background notes, then no.
Is he the guy who's working the mortar and pestle?
Yeah, there's a dwarf working the mortar and pestle right now. This is Alrund's place, but you don't know if this individual you're looking at is Alrund. The individual in question doesn't seem to raise his attention, pay any concern to the people who are entering in. Seems very focused on his work. You would note that his beard is kind of heavy, dark gray, with a bunch of copper bindings kind of securing it. He has kind of fine-looking clothing underneath, but it seems to be kind of smattered with splotches of different colors from different fluids, you presume, and different other like staining materials. He's bald on the top of his head, but he has that kind of horseshoe crab kind of, or horseshoe ring of hair around the bottom of his head there, and he's wearing two massive bronze gauntlets, which he's using.
I'll walk in and say, well met. My name's Benson.
Yeah. Hold on. Shh. And he continues working. You just kind of stare at him for a while. He continues pounding the material. Then you see him kind of stop and like slowly kind of move the device, and then kind of slowly pour out the contents into a small little like glass container. He then takes a piece of cork, cuts it a little bit, and slides it into the glass, shuts it, and kind of sets it off to the side. Okay, what? Who are you?
I'm my name's Benson. I'm from the House of the Hand down the way. I'm the palm reader of the town.
Yeah. The fortune teller, sure.
Yes. We've come to see your wares. We're trying to clean up the area a little bit, and we could use some help. And we were pointed in your direction for possibly having some of your holy water that is more of a restorative ability. Do you happen to know of any of?
What? Speak plain. Holy water that's a rejuvenative. What?
Do you sell healing potions?
Oh, yeah. Is that what he just asked?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, alright. He kind of reaches under the desk.
Manners, get away from him.
Reaches under the desk. You hear kind of like a loud kind of grinding noise. Sounds like metal kind of being pulled off of metal. And then another kind of sound which sounds more like a sticky kind of wet metal slapping sound. And then he kind of shuts a drawer from behind the desk. When he comes back up, his hands are naked of the gauntlets and looks like they're covered with sweat. And he's kind of shaking them out. You can see like splatter kind of hitting his desk. And he walks over to a shelf where there's a number of like dusty old kind of bottles. He grabs a box, brings it over to the table, sets it down, and pops it open. I've got looks like I've got about 3 left.
How much are you asking for them?
Well, going price is 50 per. If you need me to make more, I can start work on that. It might take a couple.
Whoa! Did you? When he raised his hands, I go, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
Your hand, have you been feeling well?
Yup. And he kind of moves his hands away from you and kind of closes them. Nope. Nope.
That suit yourself, my friend.
Sorry, little one. I already heard stories about what happened to him. Points to the scarecrow. No thanks.
What happened? What do you remember?
Well, from what I heard, there was a noble who came into town, and that little wizard killed him. At least that's what the merchant says.
I was a noble, guys.
So
what else have you heard about this noble?
Well, you're kind of taken aback for a second because the only person who knows the details of that story is Kronosov, the merchant lord, who's not the Curios, but the real money behind the town. But apparently that conversation has been spread.
That's I believe that's a mite of an exaggeration. I definitely killed no lord. As you can see, he's fine. Come on, man.
He kind of like rubs his nose. Look, I'm not in for services, trading and services. It's not how this works. If I seek your services, I'll come to your establishment.
Oh no, that's fine. I was concerned about a fellow member of the town, but that's fine. That's no deal at all. No problem at all. I'll go ahead and I will at least take 2 for 100 gold, and I'll drop 100.
2. He pulls them out, and you can see the dust on them. Like as he pulls them out, like his sweaty thumb and finger, as he kind of pulls them out, kind of leave an imprint on there, kind of cleaning off the dust layer, and sets them out on the table, and kind of gestures to where he wants the coin.
Hold on a second, Benson. Gondar's kind of picking his teeth with a dagger just leaning against the entrance. I assume you make mead here?
Yep.
Tell me, Master Dwarf, have you ever made mead with the honey of a demon wasp.
Don't even know what that is. No
I would
idea.
assume an ambitious brewer like yourself, at least you have some curiosity on what you could brew up with such a thing.
Sure. Yeah, I would be interested. Do you have a sample?
We have a keg. I'd be willing to trade it to you for the healing potions.
Yeah. So, where's the keg? I need a sample.
My men are holding it at Fort Phalanx.
He kind of thinks for himself for a second. Kind of. That's like a day or so away, and you're wanting the healing potions right now.
Yes.
It's gonna be 100 gold.
Such an opportunity.
I'd definitely be interested in sampling it, but since you don't have anything on hand, it's not really a very lucrative idea. It's more of a. Let me give you an example of what you're positing here. I can give you 100 healing potions for that honey you're talking about, even though you know for a fact that I only have these ones. He gestures behind him, and there's a bunch of empty bottles. I could certainly fill those up for you. Just gonna take some time.
You're a trusted member of this town. I've been here a long time.
So are you?
If you would promise me 100 healing potions for that keg of honey, I would take the 3 now and expect 97 more in however long it takes you to make them.
You're a trusted member as well. I understand that the honor bound are very keen on their honor and their sensibility of it. But let me explain something to you, fella. I'm a dwarf. When we trade, the trade's final. The trade happens now. It's not a question of when we're going to get something to you. I want the deal to be completed. I don't like lingering around waiting for something to arrive. And I especially don't like lingering waiting for something to arrive. I don't even know what it is, nor have I sampled it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Work that even exists.
Well, no, he's not saying that it doesn't exist.
No, I know, but for all he knows, like, you could just take this shit and
don't have
never come back.
I don't have the honey with me, but I have something else, or we have something else that might be interest to you as maybe as an upfront
100
for
gold?
this deal. I show him we also have the corpse wax and the moon milk, and we have a bunch of like alchemy stuff that like you can experiment with, stuff that's hard to come by.
You kind of gesture with the moon milk, and he kind of stops with that. Yeah, the wax isn't any good to me, but do you mind? The container you have here is pretty bad for this kind of reagent. Do you mind if I transfer it into something a bit more?
By all means, you're the expert.
He walks back, and you hear kind of clinking, clattering. You kind of look over to see what's going on, and he's going through these massive bottles in his back room, and one happens to be this really kind of round, weird jug with kind of a handle, almost like a milk bottle. Oh, you wouldn't know what that is. You guys do bags. Anyways, he pulls one of the jugs out, comes back, sets it to there, and then starts pouring the contents of your water skin into the decanter. Once he's completed pouring it out, he hands the bag, and he's back to you, and he says, if the transaction doesn't go through, you can keep it in this. That's fine. But I would do I would do this amount for one. That would be more than fair.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. And
I'll be back with that honey.
Oh, I'm interested, but again, not without knowing. You know what I'm saying? Do you give him 2 bottles of moon milk, or do you?
You said 1 for 1, so
Yeah, it's gonna be 1 moon milk for 1 potion. That's your transaction, and then you're letting Benson do his transaction.
if he wants to do 2 for 2, like, I'd be willing to do that. And
Yeah, you got more. I could use a decent amount of this.
I feel like the potions are more valuable than the moon milk. If anyone objects, say so now. I'm gonna do it.
Don't you have like an infinite supply of moon milk since you have that fort now?
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
Oh, I mean, like, it sounds like you're trying to set something up with this guy long term. Like, I don't understand why you're not just putting that on the table. Like, you could have this stuff rolling out to him if you want. Like, if he wants the honey to make brew with, why not the milk? Like, who knows if he'll do with that.
Yeah.
Like,
And Leon, you're so thinking ahead. That's why I keep you around.
oh, look, I'm a businessman myself. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do 2 for 2, and then
Got this third one here. You got 50 gold.
I do have 50 gold. We want the third one, so yeah, I'll just throw him 50 gold for the last one.
He grins.
I'll front the cost.
You see him actually kind of take the gold coin and kind of bite it first, like the first coin, and then toss it in the bag, and kind of nod his head. Which Benson, and strangely, out of nowhere, kind of like a recollection for Shambles, you know that the biting of a gold coin is kind of a transactional thing that happens in the capital city. Because Munio has its own currency, Ludos has its own currency, and Liberus, the three kingdoms, have their own currencies. They're all spendable inside. They're all supposed to follow regulations, but because they're slightly different looking and features on them are different, everyone tries to make sure, the realness of the gold.
The weakest in this economy. Which one's the Canadian dollar?
Liberus is the weakest of the three. It was the one that kind of got... it came down to, in the Triumvirate War, about 100 or so years ago, the Triumvirate War was Ludos versus Liberus, and Munio, the one you're in right now, was kind of like, fuck that. Kind of just held back and didn't join either side. And Ludos was backed by the conglomerate, and Liberus had no backing. So it was like a continental war. Several different factions came to aid Ludos and take down Liberus. So it was slightly unfair. They're kind of on the recover, the upswing.
Rough.
Indeed. But after the transaction, you do see that there are a couple of other different vials near where he had the healing potions. They have labels on them, written in 3 languages. It looks like Common, Elvish, and Dwarvish.
Can I read the Dwarvish ones?
Yeah, if you go over and take a look. So you would see that it would appear there is a potion of Hill Giant Strength. There is a potion of Growth. A potion of Poison Resistance. And a potion of Water Breathing.
Water raising?
Breathing.
Breathing, sorry.
What about the common labels?
Yeah, they say the same thing. So
Oh, it's just direct cut.
yeah, each one has a label with 3. It's written in each language.
Those don't do much for me. You do any other kind of business around here? Is there any material you're want for?
Well, I'm definitely interested in acquiring some roots and herbs from inside of the Anguis Wood, but seeing as only sentinels can get into the heart of the forest, it would be something you may not be able to acquire. There's a
Probably impossible.
what'd you say?
Probably impossible for us, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably. There is a. Bear with me here.
Sorry to put you on the spot like this, mister.
Oh no, it's cool.
And you said you could make more of these potions.
Yeah.
How long would it take you?
Well, it depends
if we needed a steady supply.
Depends on the size of the batch. Because if I'm going to make one, it's not going to be very cost efficient for me. It's I'm spending about 30 gold and the same amount of time. Well, nearly the same amount of time processing it. But if you are wanting another batch of 6 for me to create, because I'm probably going to do that anyway. But you wanted me to make a second batch just so I have it and stock. Say about 2 or 3 days.
I bet.
You see him kind of flip open a book real quick and jot something down, and then kind of slam it shut. Do you want me to go ahead and get started on a batch for you, or?
Well, I can't guarantee the capital on that, but I don't see why we wouldn't make an order in the future. I'll keep you in mind.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. But the trying to find my notes, guys. Sorry about this.
You're good.
Let's see. Do do. Oh, I remember how to do it. And now I'm lagging.
Take your time.
Good. Oh, I can't find the folder where my moon milk's located because that same folder has. There we go. I found it. Party treasury reference. Okay, so the I'm looking for the serpent's chrysanthemum. Actually, looking for about 5 of them, and they only kind of blossom inside the Anguis Woods, specifically near the heart of it. If you can find me 5 of those, I'd give you a whole batch of potions.
5 of those chrysanthemum make a batch of 6.
Yeah, that's a fair trade for me. I
We'll
don't
see what
know.
we can do. Again, tall order. I don't know anybody that goes in there.
Fair enough. Yeah, you had that corpse wax.
Dragon in there or something.
You had that corpse wax, and you had the moon milk. Was there anything else you had on you, or of interest, or no?
We have this
This what?
Do you know anything about? Oh, go ahead.
snake oil, but I'm not sure that's something we may want to keep on. Could be useful.
He says, it wouldn't be much worth to me. He kind of gestures to another thing. Got plenty of that. Goblins do a lot of trade with me sometimes.
Well, I'll have you know that if that moon milk is of value to you, I'll have a constant source of it pretty soon.
Oh. Okay, yeah, if you harvest it right. This looks like it's had plenty of time to ferment, and it's the right consistency. So, yeah, definitely keen to do trade on that.
What containers would you recommend for fermenting? Clay or glass for moon milk?
Clay is preferred. Glass is
Alright.
good for what my purposes are with it. He says as he pulls the jugs down and puts them under the table.
I don't know if it would be in your expertise, but more to the fact that I used to be a nobleman, as you just promised me.
Well,
I seem to have a few, mementos of who I was before. I don't know. Again,
okay.
forgive me if this is not your line of work. I pull out this vial of blood in a crystal vial.
Okay.
It's sealed up with copper and wax. Does this mean anything to you? I've been pondering it for a while.
He takes a gander at it. Huh. He takes it and kind of shakes it a little bit. When he does so, you notice that there's something kind of black inside of it that you've never really noticed in there before. And he kind of... Do you mind if I
Yeah, you're the professional here.
He reaches back under the desk and pulls out another pair of gloves. These ones metal, but different than the first pair he was wearing. These are
Sanitary.
These are silver, and it looks like the fingers are very thin, like almost like daggers at the points. And he kind of leans over this small bottle, clasps it with the 2 finger prongs, pulls the stopper out of it, and sets it off to the side. And it's kind of like a forced thing as he's holding the bottle in place with the other hand. As he does so, he reaches in with one finger, slowly kind of pulls out what looks like a blood-soaked pin. And as you kind of realize, it's not a pin. It looks like the tip, or like the point of a iron needle. And it looks like there's a little bit of blackness attached to the tip of it, like a little tuft of something at the tip. He kind of shakes the blood down back into it, not spilling a single drop anywhere besides in the bottle. and
Good
then
dude.
holds the pin up and looks at it. Oh yeah, puts that back in there and shuts the vial. You see him kind of pull out a little bit of wax, rub it between his fingers, which turn like slightly hot. The metal look on his fingers becomes hot, and then he places the wax back and around the seal. Give that a couple seconds to dry, but that's a raven's feather.
Huh.
Yep.
Any idea what's in a vial of blood?
Well, that's the person who created the raven feathers blood. So raven feathers used to locate someone, or if they die, if there's another version of this one or a specific individual who's keyed to this, they would know if the person passed.
Has the person passed?
I don't know if this is yours or not. Based on what I can see here, it seems the magic is still present.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll tip him an extra couple gold.
Mm-hmm. And here's what
Give
it
him 5.
does, basically.
What was his name? Auron?
Alrund Flaxjaw. All right. Anybody have anything they want to do in the town besides?
When what?
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 I
did
wouldn't
you
mind
say?
hitting
Cut
the
off.
blacksmith
Okay.
if we're able to. If anybody else has brewery.
So Alrund is also the blacksmith of the town.
What a guy!
Yeah, but he doesn't do heavy work, and he doesn't do like military things. He does like nails and typical like kind of carpentry assistant stuff.
Farm equipment.
Correct.
So we should talk to Steve's guy about getting weapons fixed.
Steve's guy might be a good one, and then the Curios's keep. They have a castle blacksmith who does a lot of the militia's military stuff, the armor, the swords, the whatnot.
You just have like a regular short sword you're trying to get fixed?
Well, it used to be a long sword, but now it's a short sword, and it could use a little fixing as still a short sword, if that's possible.
I would just buy a new one. If it's just like a basic short sword.
Well, it's important to me. I died with this, I think.
Do you ask Alrund if he could fix it?
Yeah, I'll show it to him.
He takes a quick look at it.
Like, yeah, man, I don't know where I am. I'm just, I'm a scarecrow now. I used to have this cool sword.
I'm going to be honest with you. This is definitely outside of my ken. The sword that we're looking at here looks like it was crafted, and he hands it back, was crafted by capital smiths. That looks like a sword that was made in the Castle of the Three Thrones. No, I don't.
I asked him, you seem to be familiar with the capital. Is that where you were before here?
As a matter of fact,
What brings you all the way out here?
it's easier living. Also, not as many outbreaks of the Red Death being dealt with. Not as much sorrow. Not as much drama.
Do I know where the capital is?
Yeah, it's due south. You know, if we move back to the map, I'll go ahead and kind of point it. You can see that in the if you follow the King's Road or the if you follow the yellow road, you can see that it goes down to the south west.
To Osiria?
Oh, sorry, it's capital. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll just keep it as is for now. Hopefully we can get there someday.
All right. Anybody have any other business they want to deal with during the day?
Has my 24 hours passed?
I would say if no one has any other business, we'll cycle to the next morning, which is when it would be good to go.
It's fine by me.
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, it'd be 24 hours. You'd probably wake up, quote unquote, wake up, or basically get moving before everybody else has a chance to. Jeremy, if you have anything you want to do in the early morning.
I'd be heading back to my home, taking my old cloak, the one that I started the game with, and wrapping it up neatly, and putting my former skull inside of it like it's wearing it, and tie the pretty blue ribbon around it. And then I'd be heading to the Mardigans.
Okay. Make
A
a
shrine to yourself.
make a perception check.
I have a collection. 8.
You don't realize it until it's too late, but when you pass into your own kind of secret area, you trip over something, and then you look down and you realize that there's a silver wire that seems to have been set in your doorway. But you know you triggered it. You're familiar with what it is. It's an alarm spell.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Inside my own house?
Inside of your secret hidden area in the farm where you put your shit.
Yeah.
That's the door.
Then I bonus action hide and draw my weapons.
You spend a good 2 minutes kind of waiting, quietly listening, and you realize whoever has placed this is long since gone, and it doesn't seem like the alarm was placed for like a readying to spring and attack.
Okay. Then I'm going to go through all my stuff and make sure everybody's still here.
Yep. Everybody seems good at the farmhouse. In fact, can't remember his name for the life of me, but the head of the household.
That was what I meant. They went on the traveling thing. They're probably not in town. I meant all my skulls.
Oh. No. So I was going to say that they have returned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. House Amand is back in work. They are starting up because it's spring, and there's definitely a lot of work to get done for the purposes of making ready for harvest. So yeah, they are back. They're doing their business. They're fine. And then yeah, your guests are currently still in their abode.
Everything's as I left it.
Correct.
Then yeah, I'll just dress my own up and then go check on them and see if they've noticed anybody at the farm that shouldn't be.
Okay. Yeah, they say they haven't seen anybody untoward and nothing that would trigger your spidey sense. It's definitely whoever did it, whoever put the alarm up, definitely did so very quietly and stealthily.
Okay. Then I would just go to the Mardigans.
Okay. When you arrive, you head down into the bakery, which is currently closed, but you know the back entrance. And then you make your way into the pit underneath. The pit underneath the tavern, and sitting at the desk where you last spoke to Choa is instead Delrin. Let me double check. Demos. Sorry, Demos. The barkeep, who's the leader of the Mardigans in this area. It's almost as if he's expecting you.
Neat. I give him a wave.
He gives you a tap of his hat. We got some work for you, if you're interested.
Almost always.
Yeah, we'd heard that you were out and about, so I had one of my fingers head over and make sure we knew when you got back. Sorry if that alarmed you.
That checks one of my boxes for my reason to come here.
Oh, no worries. The job in question, bit of a pricey one, but definitely a problem we've been having. You see, there's a lot of trade going on in the south, and a lot of construction going up at current. They're building something called an auto rail, which is going to move massive amounts, more than horse and cart would be able to pull, basically 100-fold. And they should, according to their estimates, be up near these parts by year's end. If they're building as fast as I hear that they're building. My main problem is we've got a couple of bandit groups in the area who are trying to move in on this in a slightly uncultured way. There's a lot of money to be made if a lot of traffic is moving through Mortis. A lot of money indeed. Problem is we've got a bunch of ne'er-do-wells and idiots, frankly, trying to muscle in on the action. And I'm not going to really enjoy myself. And I need them taken out. The main person for the problems that I have is an individual named Calareth. He lives up near the Icefang Mountains. According to what I understand, him and his Crimson Scarves, who I think you're familiar with, based on some discussions I've had, he is in league with a group, splinter cell of old mages. Anyways, I don't care about the group of bandits. They can live for all I care. They can die. Their leader needs to be dead. Real dead. And that's where he's located, according to our information. Now, I've heard tell that the Curios is sending some folks out trying to find out where he's at. I'd rather this stay off the grid. I'd rather it not be something that gets too much attention from the lords. Because if they find out that the Crimson Scarves are up in that redoubt after it's dealt with, it's going to be really hard to take that fortification for ourselves. And based on what I'm looking at, money-wise, I've got a gut feeling that this isn't going to be the only path that these folks are going to be drawing out. If that makes any sense.
This motor carriage thing they're talking about, I've heard some things. Is there plans to move this toward the Icefang Mountain? I've heard of some business out there, but I know there's some issues with giants and dragons also.
Yeah, not yet, but basically I've got a bit of a secret, an old secret, a passageway. Kind of deals with those mountains. Makes them a little less of a problem. Not many folks know about it. And, well, if we can make it a little bit known, give it a finder's fee on that specific passageway, maybe we can have them build their magical roads through there. If you understand what I'm saying.
It sounds interesting. Are you thinking of bridging this road out of Mortis?
Yeah, Mortis up north. There's an old fort around that way. If my information serves me correctly, you might be able to direct that Gondar of the Honor Bound in that direction. He seems to be taking up a lot of military property. Is he working on behalf of the Curios, or is he doing his own thing?
Somewhere in the middle. I'm not really sure what that guy's doing.
Well, I sure
He
do.
seems to think seems to think Fort Phalanx is his now.
I sure do like a man who thinks himself an entrepreneur. He could be helpful. He could be useful. If he can secure that fort, that tower, bulwark tower, and if he can maybe communicate with the Dark Flame orcs, get their mercenary company to at least swear an alliance with, or maybe even just full on join the Honor Bound, that sure would help out a lot, especially if he was, well, if he was interested in making sure we get the rights to that magical road that runs through the Dwarvish Redoubt and then underneath the mountains. That'd be...
I believe they're already making plans to head this way. He's got a bit of a hard-on for these red cloaks or whatever the hell they were called.
the scarves, the crimson
It's
scarves.
one of the reasons I'm... Yeah, sure, that. one of the reasons I was here today. The boy, is he still around?
Yeah. In fact, some of the information I got was from him directly. Are you planning on taking him on as a sidekick?
If I could borrow him for a few days.
Well, you know that the family's going to need its cut. How many days are you planning on taking our new trainee?
I'll throw a platinum on the table and just say I'll be back for the change if I need it.
10 days? All right. Well,
I'm not sure how far we're going, but he might be of use, especially if he's got the information. I think we're headed to the shrine first, just south of Bulwark, if I remember the map correctly. Not super familiar with the area.
I'm not terribly familiar with what you're talking about at all. I know about the tower. I know about that redoubt, and I know that once I get into that redoubt, we'll be able to make magic roads go under mountains.
Sounds incredible. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
What do you know about a Green Knight?
Green Knight. Now, I heard tell there was a Green Knight running around Mortis about a month and a half ago. A lot of people
They're more recent than that.
Oh, yeah? What do you know?
I know there was a Hobgoblin encampment up there. I met with them. Pretty cool guys. Camp's gone. Poison Skull there. Got me a little bit. I think I'm coming around.
You mean to tell me that this Green Knight dealt with the Skiros and killed him?
I don't think they're dead. I think most of them have moved on. He definitely got a few, though.
Well, a lot of our folks feel that Mortis was a little bit of a problem. Besides, they think that a lot of the things that are present there are a little too neat. And the story going around in the peasant folks' minds is that somebody tried to open up some underground lair and caught the Red Death. But that ain't how
it's open.
That's not how the Red Death works. Red Death doesn't sit around and linger. It's kind of a wet sickness, if you know what I'm saying.
From what I saw of the door in the trap, it was set up as some injection that cracked the door and it infected him. And that one guy spread it to the town.
Well, that might
killed them all.
That might be it then. Well, from what I was told, it was kind of a situation where the door opened and the sickness was on the other side, and I don't think that squares. What I was thinking is that Green Knight might have something to do with it, because there were sightings of him around Mortis, and then they all started dying. Yep. That's what I was thinking.
You got any other leads on that guy?
Not that Green Knight, no, not much information there, but there was rumor that there was a Red Knight similar in styling to the south, and causing some problems for the farm folks south of the Mantle Forest. It's outside my jurisdiction, really, but, if it hits my ear, it stays up here.
Sure.
Don't know if they're connected, but not too many knights running around these days.
Yeah, well, if somebody gets eyes on that Green Knight, let me know. I've got a little bit of a vendetta for him now.
You got it. But yeah, we're looking.
I'm going to tell him everything I found under Mortis.
Okay.
And that if anything's of value, it's in that water. And then if he's got the ability, he should just blow up the whole cavern and sink the town, because that place is fucked.
Interesting. I'll see what I can't do. I might be able to get some interested parties who might be able to secure that, but I don't know if I'm able to level out a whole. I don't know if I'm able to do what you're asking.
So I'm going to tell him about the area we went through and the pillars, and how some of them are already broken down, so it probably wouldn't be that hard to drop it.
Yeah, what you're asking, though, is for me to get powder, and powder comes from Ludos, and I'm not going to be able to get that easily right now, especially since the roads that trade through here are currently being militarized with the building of this magic road. So I understand. Yeah. It's definitely something I'm interested in doing. It would be a good idea. Mortis would be another strong location for either me, your friend Gondar, or somebody to make a base of operations of. But you wouldn't want things like that lingering underneath you while you're trying to take a shit.
It needs rebuilt. I would also warn him about the carrion crawler.
For sure. He pulls out what looks like 10 platinum and sets them down on the table. Takes 5 and slides them off the top and sets them down. Slides the 5 over to you. That's the contract. Calorith. And once he's done, he points at the 5 remaining 10 times. Do we have a deal?
I tell him, take 2 of it, send it to the farm, and I'll be back for the rest later.
Do you want me to give you another 10 days with the boy?
Sure, why not?
Puts that off to the other side, and then slides you the 2 platinum, and then takes everything, kind of moves it off. Alright. If your business with Demos is done, it's not hard for you to find the young lad whose name is escaping me right now. Do you remember his
I
name?
don't remember it either. I don't. It was very unimportant to me, and I also forgot it as an actual person.
Anybody remember the kid's name?
Bobby.
No.
Alright.
It's like a
Damn
Keith
it.
or something. I don't know. I'm not even gonna call him by him. I'm just gonna point at him.
Okay.
When he makes eye contact, I'm just gonna
Well,
get over here.
you've hired...
I'm the Kratos.
Good.
Boy!
You've hired a sidekick, so yeah, he is yours to dispense with. I will.
I'm just double checking. I paid for 20 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and put him in your viewing pleasure.
I tell him exactly who I'm traveling with, the direction we're headed, and what we're doing. And I tell him I don't want to see him again.
What?
Tell him show me what he can do.
Okay.
I'll be looking for you, but I better not see you.
Out of character note, you're in control of him, so he's yours to
Right.
use. But yeah, when it comes to combat and the like.
I don't want him just appearing places and doing stuff.
Cool. Being helpful. All right. Done with that business. Benson, done with your bit. Anything you want to do during the day, the second day?
No. I'm right back.
No, Chody?
No.
Okay. Same for Shambles. Same for Gondar. Same for my brain. My brain just did the biggest fart. Any of you?
I'm ready to head west.
Okay. It is your intent to head where first?
How many days are we looking at to the redoubt?
So
See.
each hex is 1/3 of a day, unless it's on a road. And then if you're moving through difficult terrain, such as mountains, hills, forest, snow, etc., double the amount. So you can move effectively a hex and a half a day.
It's gonna be about 4 days of travel. So we're probably gonna need supplies. Can I get a cart and mule from my manse to like just put our shit in, since we're gonna be going down the.
You would know that if you're not traveling on road, a cart and animal would be kind of more of a labor than anything.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it would only be good for like not even a day then. Alright, don't worry about it.
Okay. If you do assist Shambles with the sword issue and take him to your individual, go ahead and roll me a 20-sided dice, either one of you two.
Go for it, Steve.
14.
Yeah, so he's actually able to do enough repairs on your short sword to move it up 1 step of quality, Shambles, in the day that you would have been downtimed.
Cool. Thanks, Mister Smith.
Yep, whatever he named him, I forget.
Baron!
Will. Oh, that's right. Okay.
All right. Then we go. What are we doing? Heading
Guess
out.
we meet at, meet at the exit. Walk up to the loggers camp, then hang a hard Larry west.
Larry? What's a Larry?
Left.
The
Oh,
left?
left.
What? Okay, I was like,
You've
what
never
is
heard?
that?
Never-
You've never heard Ralph and Larry?
Yeah.
No.
Hang a Ralph, hang a Larry.
Man. What rock you living under, Chody?
I'm in Middletown.
Oh, it's a big rock.
It is rocky road. Okay, so we have changed the mascot to Leon this go around. So Leon,
Good for him.
I believe you have control of the token. So with the
Still
advisement,
making me up lag. Hello.
Are we all
Oh.
back together again?
are you lagging really bad? Hold on, let me change it. Yeah, you'd be back together. Yes, you're back together. Do you have anything that you wanted to say? Like you?
Yeah, I would tell them about the Green Knight and that he appeared in Mortis about the same time. And if we're heading out to do all this stuff, we should swing by Phalanx, through Mortis, and then to the shrine.
Can check up on your boys.
Trip just got a lot longer.
It doesn't set us off by that much.
If that's what we have to do, but how soon are we meant to assist with the readout? Redoubt.
Not so much it's that we're racing Curio's men to get this bounty. Like I said before, they're gonna kill him because he's a shit cultist. But my client wants him alive because he slighted their family, and they want to punish him in their.
I wouldn't worry too much. I have a feeling the Curios are going to end up being set back at least a little bit on that redoubt. Wink. I say that loud enough it can be heard.
Just want to go to Phalanx to make sure there's nothing fucky going on. Is that the plan?
My sword's all fucked up, and anything we found in Phalanx is, fair game. So I'm going to swap mine out, and then we're going to head out.
Well, if you just need a new short sword, there's
Right
a small, there's an arm or whatever. I have an armory at the manse. I can just,
Yeah, I just trade you then.
yeah, just garbage. Just both give the scrap to Baron. He'll melt it down.
Yeah.
Take a new one.
You have.
And you want to go to Mortis?
Well, you have.
I'd like to pass.
You have control of Leon, everybody. So if you want to move him, if you want to draw a path too as to what you're planning on doing, that'd be fine too. But basically, I just need to have an idea of what you're doing.
So we have our elk and our cart also, right?
For
Yeah,
the
but
time being.
Elk, I don't know about a cart.
Oh, the cart's still at Phalanx.
Phalanx.
Yeah.
I was informed that a cart
There.
not being on a road would just slow us.
Correct.
No, but we could take the road as far as it'll take us, and then jump into Mortis. It would speed us up a little.
You guys,
buy it.
I also have horses. If you guys want to try to keep up with Leon on his elk, we can also ride horses.
That works.
You have 5 riding horses, if you recall correctly.
Yeah, and we
The,
have a halfling, so halfling can double up.
We've
Yeah.
already doubled up on the elk too. The elk can take 2 full-size people.
That's correct. So is that the plan then?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do
Yeah,
that.
I'll ride bitch with
On horse, you'll be able to get to Phalanx within the day. Probably closer to eventide, but like definitely, it's not going to take.
Well, if he's swapping my sword out in Mortis, we don't need to go to Phalanx.
Oh,
So they
we
want to
can-
get the cart, or do you not?
No, if we
No,
have
no,
all
we're
the
not
horses,
getting a
we don't
cart.
need it. We can go straight to Mortis and then over to the shrine.
okay, got it. I understand. So you're going to Mortis. All right.
Why
You'd be
are
arriving.
we going all the way back to Mortis?
Because of the business with the Green Knight. Other stories have been told around town. The Green Knight appeared at the same time the Red Death did. There's a similar Red Knight to the south. So I want to go back and inspect that trap and see if that's what actually delivered Red Death to this town, or if it was the Green Knight.
I don't understand any of that, but by all means, do your thing.
You
It
arrive.
could be a great or evil.
You arrive in Mortis late. It's definitely dark out. You move through the loggers' camp, ford the river. It's not terribly thick on the northern end of it, and are able to make it to Mortis in pretty short order. That said, it's dark out. It sounds like Raya has a plan to move back underneath and check the trap. Is that correct?
Yeah, if just like one person wants to accompany me, everybody else can probably set up camp.
Okay. In the approximately 2-ish days you've been gone, 3-ish travel time, 2 travel times, and then 2 days while in, so about 4 days. When you make it into the sewer, you realize that there are no corpses remaining. It seems that something has pilfered all of the corpses out of this place. You make your way to the door and make an investigation check. If you have assistance, let me know.
Jody, if you're with me, that would have been the preferred one.
Yeah, I will do guidance.
Awesome.
And
Does an assist plus a D4?
someone else will assist, and then guidance. Does anybody have... So this is an investigation roll. You need to be trained in investigation to be able to assist. You cannot guide and
I am.
assist.
Since I'm checking a trap, can I take a thieves' tools?
I am trained
it?
in
No.
investigation.
No. Yeah. I'm also.
Okay, so here's
So
the
you
thing.
can either
You can either guidance him for the plus D4, or you can help him and give him a plus... Or, that.
Help him.
Your sidekick can help regardless of proficiencies.
Okay, so he
If-
can
if-
help. I'll
oh,
do guidance.
Yeah, if this is going to be pure investigation, cast guidance on yourself, and then I will aid.
Okay, I will cast investigation on myself
Cast
and
guidance
investigate
on
on
yourself.
yourself.
And
You have the
investigate.
higher bonus for this.
I touch
stat.
myself.
Okay, make a roll. Advantage plus a D4.
18 plus 4.
Yep. So investigating the mechanism, you realize that it does appear that some sort of fluid was dispensed through a needle, which has been broken since. It looks like the glass inside, some sort of pressure mechanism upon the needle kind of hitting something, and air basically being stopped from kind of keeping it buoyant. Once a fluid was kind of administered on the other end, it basically created kind of like a sieve situation, kind of like a tranquilizer dart. When it hits and the pressure is gone, it throws the liquid through pressure push. It looks like the glass broke. It doesn't look like there's much left of a remnant of the liquid as we discussed last time. Investigating it, it is kind of a reddish color. And you definitely realize that this administered some sort of red colored fluid into an individual that has a blood-like consistency. Investigating the liquid, do you want... It's definitely been out in the air for a while, so it's kind of congealed. Do you want to make a either a medicine check or an arcana check on this
I
one?
would do Arcana.
Okay.
20.
Okay. You notice that this liquid, this fluid, it definitely has a blood-like consistency, but after kind of inspecting it a bit further, it doesn't have telltale patterns of what blood ought to do when it dries and kind of, it still has like almost like a dried paint-like kind of situation where you can kind of push and break and get like a little bit of a fluid movement. Whereas if you were messing with blood, it would all be kind of nice and hard, especially from the center. It kind of all, once oxygenated, starts to kind of coagulate. Good, solid word. So you're pretty sure that this is a different fluid. With that check, you kind of check through like 3 things that it could be. It could be a key fluid, similar to the fluids downstairs. It could be carrion crawler brain juice, which has a blood-like look to it, but is something completely different. Or in all honesty, it could be a type of spirit, like a alcoholic beverage, but you're pretty sure it's not that one. That's the one that, the only thing that, yeah, why would they put that in this elaborate trap? So you're thinking about it, and it has to be one of the first 2.
And
I-
Vincent, would the carrion brain juice attract a carrion crawler?
Could potentially. Yeah, with that 20, you think about it, it could potentially. There could be pheromones inside that could cause another crawler to be attracted to it.
Okay, so this confirms nothing. I'm going to go ahead and shut this door and do my best to lock it in case the carrion went in to get the other corpses.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to shut the door on the first layer, the big silver plate, and you're able to, close the door off as well.
And then we'll head back to the surface. But from what Benson's found out, this does not appear to be Red Death.
It's not.
He wouldn't lean that way.
It's not likely.
Okay.
All right. Are you staying in Mortis for the sleep?
That's up to them.
Yeah, you don't need to sleep.
I would prefer to move out a little bit.
Yeah, why do we? This place sucks.
It
I
has
don't
defensible
wanna stay here.
buildings still, rather than sleeping in the open, because we're about to go over open terrain to hit the shrine. So if any of you need rest, this is probably the best place we could do it.
Okay. Well, if that's just to make sure, is that the case? You are resting here in Mortis, horses and everything.
Yeah, let's camp in one of the abandoned buildings.
Okay.
I want to say the tavern head, serviceable ceiling.
All right. So you would note upon awakening, it's a bright kind of early spring morning, and the air is crisp, nice and fresh, and the wind's kind of driving in from the west, a westerly wind through here. You can see up ahead to the northwest that there is a the forest, the Jello forest or Galata forest, and then kind of beyond that, it seems that there's a large plume of kind of dark smoke northwest of there, and then further beyond that, well off in the distance, like just on the horizon from your position, near the Ice Fang Peaks, you can see like this tower of white, which upon closer kind of looking at it, first looks like a very strange looking cloud coming out of the mountain, and then kind of after positing it and thinking about it for a little bit longer, appears to be a plume of smoke coming out of, a white smoke coming out of the mountain. Or the mountains.
That's all to the northwest.
Yep, so the weird smoke seems to be coming from here, inside the forest, and the dark plume, or the white plume, seems to be kind of coming from up north here. Mysterious mountain is what it'd be designated as.
Interesting.
I'm super interested in the dark smoke,
The
but
dark-
I know we have a time. I know we have a timetable.
Okay.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, we should head towards the shrine.
Are we just going to the shrine to chill, or because our end game is the shrine, just like?
Do we want to bypass the shrine entirely?
I thought we were told that there was a contingent of Crimson Scarves set up in that shrine.
Check.
Well, that's the case. Then
If that's not the case, then hey, Gondar, we should head to Bulwark because there's a tower full of people there that we could murder, and you could have more space, or fold these guys into your own.
I'd rather go for Calareth first. It's a great idea. I like where you're headed. As we've said before, there's a time for, and this mage eluded us once before. I don't want it to happen again.
I get that, but I've heard that name recently too, and Bulwark's tied to him.
You have reason to believe he might be there.
Whether he's there or not, I don't know, but his men are, from my reports.
So the shrine, if it's the shrine of Atavius, rumored to have giant folk hunting the wildlife nearby.
Okay, yeah, those guys are not what we're looking for then.
Right, but we had a matter at the redoubt.
So you want to go to Bulwark to try to gather information then?
It's worth a shot, and it's from where we are. Bulwark is on our way to the redoubt. It's going to take us about a day to get there anyway, at least.
You can check it out, but I don't want to spend too much time there. If it looks like they're too dug in, like if it's going to be too long
Fortified, yeah.
too fortified, we're going to move on. If it looks like they're just kind of if it's a scouting party or just like a forward operation, we might be able to take it or at least get some information. But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time there.
Okay, so do we want to go south around the forest, or do we want to cut through the forest? Kevin, kind of looking at you on this one.
That's a Leon question.
Yeah, Leon, if you want to
I'm
make
expecting to lag out. So, what's the
I'm
question?
if you want to make a survival check, if you can. If not, I'll click it for you.
Wow, 7.
Okay, so you're not terribly familiar with this part of the air of the region, so you're not sure which method would be quicker. The one thing you do kind of recall knowing is that the lake, Lake Viridian, it is kind of a pooling of a lot of the swells and water creep that kind of comes out of the Gelato, which is kind of a northernly, kind of upslanting kind of forest. And so that pocket of water is actually moving water southwardly. And the river that connects Lake Viridian to the lake north of Mortis, which name is escaping me at current, it's actually heavier and much more rapid in those parts. That winding bit of waterway that goes through the forest there, that's hard to traverse.
I don't know if he heard any of that, but he definitely relayed it to us.
Yep.
So the forest would be super difficult to travel, even though it's the shorter path.
Unless you go all the way out and around. Yes. So basically at this point, you would want to move towards the loggers' camp just to be able to ford the river safely, or you would move out and around to the north of Lake Viridian, and then...
Alright, so we'll go-
Is the northern part, is that pretty easy to travel? I thought you said the whole forest was going to be marshy.
The forest is going to be marshy. Yeah. And then
let's
crossing
go back
right
to the
here.
road.
Crossing right here is going to be a bad idea. Is what I was trying to infer as well. So yeah, marshy, bad cross, best way to just be safe. Are you seeing my arrow, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we got about 7 hexes to bulwark if we head south, and it puts us in giant territory if they're actually in the shrine. Or we have about 5 hexes through the marshy forest at a reduced speed, which should be safer from giant ken if that is a thing. So 2/3 of a day less to go through the forest, but we're probably going to use the same amount of time getting through the marsh, but we're safer from giants.
I'm assuming Grok is with us as well, right?
No, actually. If he's not here,
You're not here, you're not here.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, with Grok and Leon, like, guiding us, we would probably be okay, but...
Just Leon and his super good laggy rolls.
Like, I don't... Like, we could just thread the needle, see what happens.
Try to cross the waterway?
Oh, no, I mean...
I think he meant the giants.
Oh,
thread the needle through bandits and giants.
gotcha.
What do we know about giants? When do they hunt?
Hill giants, they do both. They typically do both based on normal casual conversation. If you want to make either a history or a nature check, your call. You might be able to discern a little bit more about hill giants, though.
Not my thing. But based on them being giants and their gait and their ability to travel, it's probably going to be a little quicker than us. So their hunting ground's going to be pretty wide. It's going to be a very narrow needle.
You are definitely familiar with the fact that a giant could catch up with a horse or pulverize it with a rock thrown. It would definitely be harder for it to keep up with an elk because elks are the Wayfarer's kind of speed animal. They are faster than pretty much anything we're going to be able to see for the most part.
Maybe Benson could recall something about giants. 'Cause
Yeah, history?
I'm dumb.
My current vote is the forest. I think it's going to take us the same amount of time.
16.
Yeah, Chody. So hill giants are territorial. So typically, when they kind of take over a location, they don't exactly go out and about too far from their area. Based on the reports that you're familiar with and the rumors that you have regarding the shrine, it seems that they've taken over the Shrine of Atavius as their hold. So if you were to kind of move in and around their area, you probably aren't going to see them too far out from the shrine, 10 miles at most. hunting parties and around. So you have kind of a 1 in like 6 chance, basically, that you would run afoul of the giants if you were to pass by them.
And then
I like those odds. I'm a
Another
gambling
Leon
man.
question. Well, how is the hunting around the shrine? Because that's going to affect their web.
What do you mean?
Is there enough hunting within 10 miles of the shrine that they're going to find enough food to feed all of themselves, or will they have to be able to travel into the forest?
Oh yeah, they definitely would be able to find a lot of food. This place is very verdant, and there's a lot of animals out and about. Yeah, deer, predatory animals, which people like you would probably run away from. They're gonna run towards with a big tree and smash it, and they're gonna have a displacer feast. So,
Let's go to the shrine.
sorry,
Everybody cast a vote.
displacer feast. I'm sorry, that's good. I like
Are you
it.
saying there's displacer beasts out here?
There are displacer beasts out and about. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You just guaranteed that there are.
So let's head that way.
They're at the
Okay, so you're heading south to the portion where the loggers camp is. The waterway is easier to traverse. You ford the river at that point, kind of north of the loggers camp and in. So that's 3 spaces to get to here. Go ahead and give me 3d20 rolls.
That's our day, right?
It's going to be your day. Yep.
Are the horses adding anything for us? Or
Oh,
is it
sorry.
still-
If you're moving on horseback, bear with me. Would have
we
gone
get
there.
4 or
instead.
5.
It'd be 5. So if you want, you can go to here and camp there, or you can kind of stop and then shot put through during the day. It'll be easier to see hill giants during the day than it would be during the night.
I think one more northwest, and we can bury ourselves in beside the lake under the tree line
Okay.
at the top of that hex we're standing on.
Gotcha. So then give me 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 d20 rolls, please, and thank you.
Zach.
Okay.
Get it.
12,
Man,
5,
he's
2,
on it
19.
like quick.
19, you said?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
There's a 19 in there.
Okay.
And on the last one.
That might be a boo boo.
There was also a 2.
2's not low enough.
Dead equivalent.
All right.
Something bad happens on 19, something good should happen on 2.
Yeah, where's the wobbly head guy? He usually comes out on 2.
Yeah, where's our guy?
If you would be so kind, there, Zach, to roll me a D100.
67.
Ooh, you got a magic item.
All right. So you move through the area very quickly. You
67 wolves.
cross the river, and your horses move across the plains very quickly. It's super cool looking. It's like out of Lord of the Rings type shit. You're moving across hill and dale, moving past the forests, and you're making your way to the southern end of the lake. As you head in that direction, you do see what looks like an old shack. Basically, it looks like a fisherman's shack. Probably about 5 miles or 3 or 4 miles south of the lake, based on what you can see. And you're hitting this point just as it's starting to get like mid-afternoon, because you were only taking 1 or 4/5 of your movement. When you arrive at this point, you do notice that this small little shack on the top end of it has a rusted iron spire capped with the arrow of Atavius. It looks like it's kind of broken down to the side a little bit, and it looks like one of the prongs has actually broken away, so it doesn't look like the perfect arrow. There's a small piece of the arm of the cross is basically broken off. It's definitely strange looking, and from this vantage point, you're also able to see across the lake, and due north of the lake, exactly a 3 days march. You're based on your presumptions and your calculations there. You can see that black smoke, which has been going through the whole lot of the day, still going.
Was that it?
Yep, old weird
Oh.
shack, and yeah.
That could have been worse. So let's carefully investigate
yeah.
this shack.
Raya, why don't you and I go
I'm
check that
dismount.
one out?
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna dismount and head up there.
Okay.
Sneaky, in broad daylight.
You guys might want to follow, not too far behind.
All right. Raya and Shambles, as you're moving up, go ahead and make perception checks for me.
19.
Pretty good.
9.
So you're looking at the ground and... Go ahead.
Does my expert have the same stat line? Sorry, oh, he has a sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't have stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah, if he doesn't have the skill, you can roll it untrained. You just click on the ability that it would normally go off of. Perception.
I hadn't opened the sheet yet, so I didn't know what it looked like. Go ahead.
Okay.
He wouldn't be with us anyway, so he wouldn't be able to tell us.
Fair enough. It definitely looks like the shack that you're looking at. It looks like there's kind of a bit of strangeness to the ground, Shambles. Looking at it, it looks like there's shallow graves, which confuses you first off because you don't bury your dead. That's not how you're supposed to do it, and it's very confusing looking. You do know that there are other cultures besides Osiria in these parts, goblins, orcs, elves, and the like, and some of them do bury their dead. But the Atavius cross on that shack means that if there was someone here, they wouldn't have buried them, would they?
Well, let's not step on any of these.
Yeah, describe the shack.
I would say it's probably interior space 40 by 40. So not super small, but not terribly huge. It looks like it's made out of massive wooden planks, which have been basically bolted together by massively wooden planks at the base level, in the middle, and at the top. It looks like the roof is vaulted, basically a rafter setup and structure. And basically at the front steeple portion of the vaulting there is where that cross is. It looks like the roof is broken in a couple of parts, one being underneath the Atavian cross, and there are a couple of holes in the roof, which look like something heavy has basically gone through the roof.
On which side, east or west?
Looks like it's coming from a southwesterly direction.
Toward the shrine. Got it. And then how many doors and windows?
Probably about 2 on either side, except for the front end. The door, it looks like there's only one door. If you're circumnavigating it, kind of coming to the back end, I need you to make me... Okay.
Not
No?
the back. Wouldn't
Okay.
be able to see it. Just from what I can see from where we have been.
2 windows on either side, no windows on the side with the door.
Okay. I'm going to point at the right side, and then I'm going to tell Shambles to go left. I'm going to take the front door.
Door is ajar. It looks like it has been broken open. It is basically like one hinge seems to be holding the door on one side, and the other side of the door, it looks like the frame for the door has actually been broken in. So basically, where the door connects like blockwise with the house, that structure has been basically buffeted through.
The latch.
The latch and the entire frame of the door on the latch's side. Yeah.
Jam. Everything's been kicked in.
Kind of quality of the windows in? Are they closed? Are they open?
You kind of move around to it.
Shuttered.
The windows look like they're broken and dusty. It looks like some of the panes of glass are kind of held. It's a leaden glass, so it's hard to kind of see through anyways. But on top of that, there's like a large level of grime. But there are enough patches and holes you can kind of scope out what might be inside. If
I'll
you were
sneak
to
up
get
towards the window and see if I can't peer inside.
Make a stealth check.
You want one for the front door, too?
Yes,
20.
please. You'll have advantage on the one for the door.
25, and then on the right side of the
Okay. If you have
10
him,
on the right side of the building.
have him moving around. As you're doing so, looking at your passive perceptions real quick. Okay. As you're kind of moving up, Shambles, you kind of look in and you're looking in quietly. You see kind of a frame of a humanoid creature kind of sitting towards the back. It looks like the interior of the shack was like a small shrine itself, kind of like a tiny altar. But it also looks like it was kind of a retreat. So there are a couple of areas that look like they have beds kind of set in them and a couple of lounging areas. So it's like a weird kind of like religious retreat.
Like a sanctuary?
Nothing. Yeah, that sounds good. Or maybe like a micro monastery, somewhere where a couple of
Okay.
religious people could kind of go, hang out, and do their own religious inquiries.
And fishing.
You see this humanoid figure kind of rise up unnaturally so, and kind of start moving towards the window opposite of where you're located, on the opposite side of the building. When you look in, Raya, and kind of peer in, you're not able to see much from your current perspective, because you're kind of looking into an area where there's not really a lot of light kind of shining in on what you'd be looking at. You're kind of being faced against that light.
Dark vision doesn't help.
Good point. You think you see a shape move, but you aren't sure which direction it goes, because you're kind of looking in through the door. It's kind of moving behind the broken portion of the door. That said, the expert, your sidekick, we'll call him Guy for now. He doesn't see anything, and kind of you hear a glass crack.
Real quick, did he have advantage also since he was not on the left side of the building? Or
No, both the sides didn't have
Okay.
advantage. The door had advantage because,
Okay, just want to check.
like I was saying, the same reason why you can't see much is the reason why he can't see you.
He could see me.
The door's in the way, and the light's kind of moving into the building at a way that it's harder to see. Anyway, he does see it though, and it does, whatever it is, reach out for him and attempt to grapple at him. So I'm going to make an attack against your expert.
Going through a window to do it.
Oh yeah.
Did we identify? Could I have seen what this thing was?
Humanoid
Undead?
figure. The only thing you could tell that is that it had white hair.
We aren't back too far, are we?
I'd say probably a good 50 feet. If you wanted to stay out of earshot.
You were told to stay close, just not too close.
Right. I was just trying to get a mindset on how far we got.
Sure.
We're fine. If they do the signal, we're on horseback. We can get there like in a round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Signal, of course, being the once like a brown owl, twice like a barn owl, as usual.
It'd probably just be a hand sign, and you're
Well,
better
you-
than
Nice
You
of
saw
your hands.
us. You saw us kind of serpentine around the graves, right?
You can
Like-
see me at the front door.
Bear with me. All right.
Just need to make sure we get 200 experience. That's all I care about.
The amount of graves out here, I'm sure there's thousands.
199.99 experience.
I'm
I
having
will
my
come
doubts
through
for
this
like
computer.
the 5 of us to get 200 each from this one guy.
Okay, so does a 17 hit, Guy?
It's yeah, easily.
Oh, he's dead.
He might be. Levels easily.
I'm not your buddy, Guy. I'm not your...
Boy.
I'm that friend, buddy.
Anyway, okay, so I, for some reason, am not... There he is. Alright, so he attacks with his fist and hits.
Does he cut himself in the window?
He does 5 points of damage to Guy, and Guy needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Got that mummy rat.
Alright.
We lost guy.
His hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to the damage he just took. So his hit point maximum is now reduced by 5. The life is basically drained from him by this creature, and as Guy kind of looks down in horror, he sees that it's an old man, white hair, kind of face is kind of tightly bound to his skull. You can see the outline of his skeleton underneath, and his teeth are kind of like just gnarled and yellow. His breath is fetid as he kind of moves out of the glass. It seems that he does so in a very quick, unnatural way, and moves his body in such a fashion that he's able to touch Guy and grab a hold of him for the moments to suck away at his life. After he does so, the creature kind of recoils back into the window, seeming to kind of recoil away from the daylight that's lingering.
Quick question. Am I better from that poison I got?
Oh, yeah.
Did everything reset my maximum too?
Yeah.
So we just burned the house down, is what I'm hearing.
All right. The second that happens, to make sure you understand what the combat situation is going to look like, the 5 of you are kind of outside of the piles or the weird mounds of strange grass and 50 feet away from the house. Raya, you're at the front door, so 50 feet behind you is your party. On the left side, about 25 feet around the way, is Shambles, and then 25 feet on the other side is Guy. And then apparently in that same operation, Guy is being attacked by a creature. The moment that the attack happens, and right before you're able to kind of spring into action, alert the others, etc., those outside watch as the ground rises up, and about 6 humanoid creatures kind of just pull up out of the dirt. So let me go ahead and...
Cool. They have their own thing to do.
Right.
You and me, Shambles. Here we go.
I'm going to go ahead
What about Guy?
and draw
Oh,
me...
shit,
I mean,
he's
he's
He's not gonna last.
two arms.
You mean
Man.
8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8...
You said we're still in midday, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is a very crude map
Sounds perfect.
because
I'm into it.
random encounters, and I was not planned for that roll. Bear with me here.
You were only ready for 1 through 66. You thought surely they'll roll lower than that.
Well, I thought I had this combat planned out, but the part about the shack was for... Yeah, you'll see.
Oh, you're good, man.
All right.
Play it off the cuff.
That's the key. It's a little harder for Roll20 than in real life, but yeah. Player characters. All right, and allies. Gondar, you had Namwalk and
Kane.
they don't have horses, so
Then, was there not enough horses for us to all be doubling up?
5 horses.
We had 5 horses.
Riding horses
That's
can't
different.
have 2 riders.
What about Benson? Would Benson have been?
Benson
I
doesn't.
feel like Benson and Shambles are like half a person, or not even a person.
Wow.
Yeah, Benson and Shambles can both double up. That's for sure. So they could ride with Kane and
That's
Namwalk.
1 horse. Raya.
And then Raya by himself. Leon has his own.
Steve's 2 guys. Leon on his
Yeah.
milk. That's 5 horses.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Just making sure. And then Gondar, or Grok, and his compatriot Bellerin did something else. So let me get rid of Grok.
They're off.
I'm riding in on
all
turtles.
cheap stuff.
Come riding in on turtles. I'm a fan.
They'll be here any minute.
Yeah.
At dawn of the 19th day, look east.
Oh, classic. All right, and followers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The presumption is that there was dismounting, with the exception of the elk, probably. And then I just need to make sure that the distance is right. Okay, here we go. 50 feet. All right. Thank you guys for being patient.
Sure.
Perfect. All right. Like I said, really crude drawing.
It's beautiful.
Does the silver dagger just have dagger stats?
Yeah. All right. And then one more second.
Forgive me, John. What is this little outcropping of wall north of me?
What's that?
It looks like an outcrop of the wall north of me.
No, that's your health
No,
bar.
I can't even. Oh, Jesus! I'm sorry. It
It's okay.
merged right in. Fuck you.
That's
I
funny.
I see it as well. But that's fine.
It's the exact same color and thickness of the other line.
No, it was great.
One of the creatures that comes up out of the ground is larger than the others.
Cool zombie giant.
Definitely looks like
in the
it.
middle
Yeah,
of
they
it.
live around here.
Definitely looks like it might be of giant variety. Yeah, that's accurate. My stuff isn't loading. Oh. There he is.
Not that big.
Oh, that's not the big one.
Oh no. It's kind of big.
All right. Initiative.
Do the sidekicks go on their own turns, or do they go after me?
Sidekicks go on their own turns. You don't have sidekicks, you have cohorts. They should be going on their own turn.
Okay.
That's fine.
I didn't have my thing clicked. I'm gonna change my initiative to what it was the first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't want to, but I will.
Do they have an initiative on here?
Yeah, it's up at the top. There should be a small little D20 that says initiative next to it.
Ah, okay.
NPC sheets are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of cool.
Rolling the sidekick initiative replaced my own.
You selected the wrong token.
Well, he's not here.
Oh, you're right. 1 second. Oh. Yeah, he's not under your... He's under sidekicks. There he is. Oh my god, this is being really annoying. There he is. I gotta refresh real quick. All right, refreshing. Okay. And I have to rejoin again. That's maddening.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been a real weird one this time around. I thought it would be easy to just throw it down, but not so much. I can't see the highest initiative. I'm pretty sure you all know what it is. Whoever that person is, go ahead and take your turn. Unless it's me.
Go, Raya, go.
I'm gonna move into the building.
Okay. It's completely dark in here.
Dark vision. I'm gonna stand in the corner closest to Shambles, and try to shoot him with a bow.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'm gonna cast the cantrip and then dagger him.
Okay. The knife becomes ghostly, and you throw it, and it stays in your hand.
15 to hit.
15 will hit.
Or 8 psychic damage.
All right. Okay. Turns and faces you annoyed,
Shambles.
and then Sham.
It's dark in here, so I cannot see inside.
If you don't have dark vision, it's very hard to see inside. Yeah. You'll have disadvantage on any attack rolls or perception checks.
What? You say midday. Is it closer to morning or closer
Afternoon.
to afternoon?
Afternoon.
It's late. It's late afternoon. He said.
Okay, and which way does the sun move on your planet?
Same as it does on the normal planet.
Okay, because you just broken out a window above the experts. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Sunlight's going to come from that side.
Yeah, most of the light should be coming in from, because it's east to west. It's setting in the west, so it's coming in this way. That's why Shambles was able to see.
But the rolled rocks came from the southwest, so there's some holes in the ceiling, right?
Yeah, there are some holes in the ceiling. It doesn't look like there's a lot of patches of light that are notable.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get in there. We'll see what happens. What would it take to get through this window? Just movement, or
Yeah, it's
Take to
difficult.
walk around to the door.
Difficult terrain, I guess.
screw that? I'm a monk. I have so much movement.
Actually, since we played your weightlessness up and like your lightness up a bit, go ahead and make me an athletics check to shove through it.
You got it. 11.
You kind of just flood like someone
I just batter against the window.
like someone threw a wet towel against a window.
Damn
yeah.
it.
How's that door look now?
That takes up 10 feet of your movement if you want to continue.
I'm gonna bonus action dash.
Okay. All right.
Screw this guy.
So one's the key point. Step of the
That's
way.
a key point. I know. I'm gonna stab him, and I'm probably gonna punch him too. Broken sword for 10 piercing.
Okay. When you
Oh wait, do I have disadvantage on attack rolls, don't I?
yeah, because you're attacking in the dark. So when
Okay, I missed.
when you hit him, you hit flesh, but the weapon kind of flips off the side, like the flesh is hardened, kind of more less with less give than you had anticipated. So the poke doesn't exactly do what you want it to, and you feel like it's magically so. Like it, even if it were a dead body, it would definitely, it should have worked pretty well, but it didn't.
Then I'm going to flurry of blows, and I'm gonna kick him in the shins. 10 miss.
You hit shin, and you kind of similar to like when you hit the window, like it doesn't really give. Your leg kind of like folds almost around it, and then
I'm gonna knee him in the stomach. 13 to hit.
slams him right in the stomach, and he's still kind of focusing on the window, not even turning his attention towards you. It's like someone's just giving him like those slaps, like love taps with a towel behind him, and it's not really doing much.
What a cool thing I've done. I'm probably gonna leave after that, but go ahead.
Yeah.
that's my turn.
So for some reason, only the zombies initiative got boarded. So his is a 17. So
17 is up.
yeah, it's him. So he is going to. I'm going to add him onto the board real quick. It's really weird that it didn't. I mean, it didn't even roll on the chat. It showed it roll on my side and then it didn't. But anyway, 17 for him. He is going to reach out one last time for the folk outside. Let's see. Does a 19 will hit. He takes 4 more necrotic damage and another Constitution saving throw. His maximum hit points remain the same. They do not change. All right, and then he will turn around in a flash and attack Shambles. It seems that he pulls a longsword from seemingly nowhere. Since you don't really see it coming, 22 will hit. He'll deal 8 slashing damage, and you take all of it. No reduction.
Okay.
All right.
I magic. He has a magic sword.
It's the expert's turn. His attention, the thing inside's attention has definitely shifted.
With the wall between, does he feel like he has to disengage, or does he feel like he can walk?
He presumes there will be an attack of opportunity, but since the white's attention has changed, it'll probably be a disadvantage.
Alright, so he's still weary. So he's going to disengage. He wants to run along the wall, headed north, and just punch out the windows as he goes. He's going to hit him with his dagger.
Okay. Bonus action disengage. Can he do that?
No, I'm just, if he can, he wants to break the windows as he runs.
That would be an action to do that. So no.
Okay, then he'll just disengage.
And move towards the next window. And then, okay, bolt aside.
He's going to fall.
Okay. Namwalk. These things look like undead. The Atavian Bane.
Alright. Oh, good thing Namwalk's a Minotaur. Well, or maybe not. The only Osirian here is Leon. So Namwalk will start to build the phalanx in front of her. These will rush up and swing on this zombie. Uh, 10, 14.
Okay. Both hit.
It's a 19 total.
Okay. Still standing. Missing an arm and the top of his skull cap just cut clean off. All right, Kane. Gondar on deck.
Kane will come back here beside Leon, and together they'll hopefully make a fire. He's gonna let off 2 bow shots with his longbow. Same zombie.
Okay.
A crit and a 9.
It dies. Don't even roll damage.
Good shot, guy. Good shot.
Perfect.
You see Benson's
It
hand
would-
start sparking.
It would die on the first shot, and so Kane, kind of surprised that it actually worked, like hits the head and it kind of spirals the body to the side, pulls out his next arrow, ready to shoot at that same zombie, and kind of throws it, trying to adjust his aim, but fires in between 2 of the other zombies. All right, Kane's done. Gondar's up.
Alright.
Jody on deck with Benson.
Gondar will move to engage the zombie.
Okay.
Stab. 18 and then a
Okay.
crit.
So first
Standing.
damage. No sneak attack on this one.
No, so just 8 slashing on the first hit. And then the crit is also just 8, so 16.
Still standing. No, actually, sorry, dead.
Alright, and then last bit of my movement. Take a step back, try to get beside Namwa.
All right, Benson.
I am going to go ahead and cast Fireball.
Okay. You're either going to hit the house or you're going to hit Gondar. If you want to get all... No, hold on. You're good.
I should be able to get, over here in this corner right here.
Yeah, you can do that in a way. So it's kind of hitting outside of where Gondar...
If I hit part of the house, I mean...
You'll miss this one.
Burn it.
But you'll hit all 3 of these ones.
That's fine.
Unless you don't care about hitting the house.
Oh, I don't care about hitting the house.
Okay. All right,
As long as it's just the outside of the house, not like a full hit of the house.
then you'll hit all 4. Go ahead and roll that beautiful beam footage.
This is about to get awesome.
30.
No, it's not. I made a mistake.
I know.
This has happened so many times.
All right. 3 of them start burning and kind of moving. It's like some scene from The Walking Dead. The big one's also on fire, but still kind of continues trundling forward. The front end of the house is just engulfed in flame, and not exactly what you're expecting. Starts going up like like a thing that goes up real fast. I'm going to go ahead
Tinder
and...
box.
There's the one. Go ahead and put some fire blocks down. Bear with me. This is the top roof and the bottom roof, or bottom area. Basically, the second it hits the middle portion, it goes straight down and kind of like burns up, like the wood had some sort of treatment or something in it that is very flammable. But the doorway is basically engulfed in flame. Yeah, it goes to the zombies, or they only zombie. It rushes forward. It seems to be holding a massive mace or some kind of melee weapon. And it throws its bludgeon down towards Gondar. Crit. It's going to do 20 points of damage.
Ouch.
And that's the only zombie I have left. Raya, you are up. The doorway that you came through is on fire.
God, I'm in here. Is there a back door or anything?
There is no back door.
I can see now. There's fire.
You can definitely see
Silver
now.
linings.
How many spaces have windows?
So I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick doodle daddle with yellow. All the windows are kind of dark. Not a lot of light coming through them, except for the one the white is standing near. And it's not a lot of light, because the sun's on the other side of the world. Okay.
The expert's going to yell, "The light hurt him!" And I'm going to run to the farthest window on this wall and shatter it with whatever I'm holding.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
And to break a window?
Yeah, to break a window.
21.
That'll work.
Nice.
Just barely.
Not so much because of the hit.
An
because...
11 athletics check wouldn't do it.
Not so much because of the hit, but because of the damage. And real quick, it's lead and glass. It's not. It's not.
It's still glass.
Glass can be hard, man. You can throw stuff at glass and it won't break.
Anyway, I'm just gonna hop through here with my remaining movement.
Yep,
if that's cool.
Make me a dexterity saving throw.
23.
You're good. You've definitely jumped through broken windows before in your life. You know not to put your you know not to put your hands down in specific areas, and not to kind of get yourself cut up.
I tell Shambles, "Come this way. I'm going to dirty dancing you out this window."
Yes.
All right. Shambles, it is your initiative.
I can make it. I can fucking make it, boys. Bonus action, disengage, step of the wind, going right out that window with my arms out.
Stop. He attacks you. He attacks you anyway.
Okay.
Fucking cheater.
Does a 17 hit?
He attacks me anyway?
Yeah. Does a 17 hit?
No.
Okay. He misses. You go.
What the hell?
I sways him. Nobody puts baby in a zombie corner.
Burning corner.
He's not a regular undead, dude.
Well, even I thought. I don't know. I must have a misunderstanding.
Sentinel feet.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so you move up, and then how are you getting through?
I'm diving forward with my arms out, and he is going to catch me at the waist.
His action was breaking the window.
And then we're going to spin.
His action was breaking.
Well, it's more fun for me to be Swayze and him to be baby.
Fair enough, but the thing is he's going to make a dexterity saving throw because he's going through broken glass.
Whatever, does the same thing. It's
fair enough. He might be cut up a little bit.
Advantage. He has advantage.
21.
He doesn't have advantage. But he gets through.
I'm going to put Shambles in the corner.
All right.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna throw some dart. I'm gonna throw a dart at that guy. Screw him.
As he's being spun in the air.
Let's see.
10.
You're. Yeah. You would have missed him. You hear the sword being put back to sheath. As he comes into view in the window, he's holding a longbow, pulling back an arrow, and he shoots one downrange into Raya. 21 to hit.
Hit.
11 piercing damage. All right. It goes to the expert guy. Staying outside, hiding, or
He's gonna dash.
okay. Namwalk, go ahead.
That's how Shambles. He's with me.
Steps on this body, pops its brain open with his mighty, and swings on this big guy.
Tasty.
10. Oh my gosh.
Still hits.
You know,
What are you, me?
The 10 hits, the 4 misses, and his access quality will step down 1.
the one right after. It's just like fine, right? When it's
No, he's on
Brand
4
new.
already.
no. Remember, I didn't change the tooltip. He switched it out in town
Oh,
last
okay.
time when I
That's
got
right.
my
After
granite.
normal is fine.
Fine, yeah. But the 10 hits.
Wow. Cool. 6.
All right. Kane.
Loose 2 arrows. Oh my gosh, my guys, please.
Longbow's fine.
10 piercing.
Yep. And next is Gundar.
To keep doing what we do best.
Yep, Stash.
So that'll be 7 plus 13, 20 total.
All right. Next
and then
up.
I'll bonus action, second win.
Okay. Choate, you're up. Sorry, it's 7 o'clock. I'm just trying to
Okay.
pull through.
Oh, you're fine. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and move over here, and I'm gonna do burning hands.
Oh, I just realized Kevin's not on this freaking initiative board at all.
Yeah, because I was lag. I figured you guys would probably handle this without me, anyways.
No worries.
Yeah,
God
man.
damn it, Kevin.
What? This
I
is your.
haven't been able to play or like say anything. And as soon as I go to say something, my internet's like, oh.
Here, I'm gonna be nice. Go ahead and Benson, go ahead and get your attacks. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some attacks into this thing, though. Go ahead. Okay.
It's your.
7.
All right.
Throw an elk at it. It's gonna one-shot it anyway.
Yeah, that elk's gonna just stop a hole in this thing.
It's supposed to be our ringer against the undead.
So out of nowhere, Benson rushes in, throws his hands forward, burst of flame, as it's kind of continuing to be on fire, with more fire now. 2 arrows go flying from Leon as he sits upon his elk, slamming into the ogre's head, and you can hear kind of a sickening crack and thud as the brains exit the back end of the zombie's head. Zombies are done. Raya, you're up.
I'm gonna take a step away from Shambles. I'm gonna throw my dagger on the ground near the expert, and I'm gonna pull out and light a torch.
Okay. Shambles.
If I can still interact, I'm gonna hold the torch up to the window.
Action would be lighting it. But yeah. I mean, you can hold it towards the window, but not like igniting the window. I mean, Shambles.
Are you just burning this thing alive? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring it down. Who gives a shit anymore?
That's what I said to do, man. Everybody laughed. I'm just saying.
You weren't
Yeah,
wrong.
alright.
Turns out you weren't wrong.
I'll run down and try to punch this window out.
Okay. With your fist, go ahead and make an attack.
13 to hit.
It hits damage.
5 bludgeoning. Again with this?
Mhm.
Fucking key point.
Why didn't you hit with your sword?
14 to hit because it's funnier. 6 bludgeoning. Headbutt.
Not in the mood for funny right now.
Go ahead, damage.
10.
He crit that window with his face.
Suck it.
All right.
I'm gonna
It was the buckle on your hat that did it.
jog back up here to keep his attention.
Okay. Shambles done. It goes to him. You look at him in his face. He looks at you. He just kind of drops his longbow, annoyed. Draws his sword out, grabs a hold of the blade at the far end, and then throws his knee straight down into the blade. The second he hits, it kind of collides with kind of a crack, and you hear kind of a sickening pop as you see this blue light flash out from him. I need Raya, the expert, and Shambles to make dexterity saving throws.
I've got cover.
I got 10.
27.
Good.
13 for the expert.
No good. So, if you did not get a 15, you are taking 32 points of damage.
That expert's gone by now.
Oh yeah, I don't have to pay for him anymore.
32?
You gonna get that platinum back though
What's
somehow?
What's his maximum hit point total?
14. Gone.
Yeah, he's dead.
Should have been better at his job.
The aftermath of the fight there, the torch is snuffed out by the force of the explosion. Looks like the white creature inside kind of just obliterated in a mass of light. The fire at this point, as it was lit on Benson's last turn, we discussed what happened during the turn before. The roof has halfway burned out the entire front end, and it seems that the fire has creeped down into the inside of the building, not so much on the outside, and smoke is pluming out that window after Shambles breaks it with his face. That said, if you have any activities that you want to perform immediately after the combat, let me know. If not, the house basically goes up pretty quick.
I want to peer through the window. Is that sword still there, or did it go with him?
Broken in half.
Shambles, new half sword.
Oh, dope.
I'm going to pick up my silver dagger and throw the kid into the fire.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead.
We'll miss you, guy.
Guy. We couldn't remember your name, so I guess it's for the better anyways.
I feel like Keith was right. I don't know why.
What? Keith.
You said Keith earlier.
I said it earlier. It sounded right to me, too.
Sounds right. Well, Keith is now
Seemed like a Keith.
Keith is now left to the flames, and I assume that the zombie bodies are chucked in as well. And we'll go ahead and deal with the aftermath of this fight at the beginning of next session. I presume a long rest will probably be in order as well.
Yeah, I burned everything.
If you want to wrap it up real quick, we're not camping here. We're going to go into the forest a bit. So this thing's already been smashed, and we'll make our camp there and take our watches.
Off to the side in the lake, or near the lake where the forest and lake meet. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
We'll water the horses, bed everybody down, and then Shambles and I will take watch.
Perfectly fine. Okay, I'll get you some experience off camera. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream. Thanks for watching.